So now we'd like to talk about the fourth pillar of Passive House, which is the ventilation and heating and cooling of the building. So again, the first three pillars really were, one was air sealing, two was the building enclosure, the wall assembly, and then three was the window and door assembly. And so those help create, again, the air sealing and the insulation for the building so that you could theoretically, without having ventilation and or heating and cooling, have a very comfortable home or building or commercial space. But of course, all of us want perfection. And so we then move on to ventilation and heating and cooling, or HVAC. And so we've reduced the load by 90% for heating and cooling. So we can now use much, much smaller systems. And we also need to focus on ventilation because we have made the house very airtight, or the building very airtight. And also, since we are looking for the best indoor air quality, health, and wellness for our occupants, we are looking for HEPA filtration in these ventilation systems. So again, we use Zehnder systems. They're 90% efficient in the way that they use a heat exchanger, and the air that's going out, so it's balanced ventilation, so the air that's going out crosses the air that's coming in, and it allows it to recapture 90% of the energy. So you have ventilation that you can turn up or down at any time, or here in California, when we may have a fire or something of that nature, we can actually have it recirculate within the building, so you get no outdoor smoke or toxins or whatever it may be. We had a massive fire last year where that would have been very handy for the house that I was living in. Unfortunately, I live in a very old house with no ventilation system. And then we at Evolve like to use these Ohm heating and cooling panels. They're ceiling mounted panels, so they literally mount up on the ceiling between the joists like that, and they stick to the drywall, and they're made out of aluminum, and hot and cold water run through them. And so it's radiation. So one, you're not blowing too much air into the space and making it drafty. And two, radiation people love radiant flooring or radiant heating and cooling. But you can't really do cooling very well without having possible problems with condensation in the flooring system. So these are very reactive in these very tight, very comfortable, very well insulated Passive House buildings. And they're just wonderful. So we're really excited to be using these because we can have the heat and cooling coming from above. And in San Francisco, not many buildings have cooling. And this allows us to have heating and cooling, be very responsive, very efficient, as well as having it paired with a balanced ventilation system like a Zehnder system.